La 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 la. Welcome back to the channel. So Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker, two of our favourite YouTubers here, were on Piers Morgan Uncensored with a couple of other guests talking about the Oscars. Right, I really want to touch on how they performed, what I thought about them, and essentially people who know the channel know that I like them, right? I like a lot of what they say. I don't always agree with what they say, but I like them a lot. I tune into a lot of what they do and envy them as YouTubers, right? I think they've done a great job. Their channels are fantastic, and credit to them, and I'm sure they're getting a lot of success. But this was their kind of big moment, in my opinion. It's the first time they've gone to something that's sort of broadcast to the world, I guess you can say that, or a much bigger audience than just their YouTube. And of course, Piers Morgan is someone I actually do like as a fellow Brit. He is controversial. Don't always agree with him at all, in fact. Very rarely agree with him. But when I do, he's enjoyable, and at least he has a strong opinion one way or another. So the show itself, the show was okay. Wasn't brilliant, it was just okay. Now, the reason why, I'll touch on in a minute, but I really want to go into Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker first, because that's probably why you're all here. Where do I think they could have improved? Look, they were on there, so I understand that they were nervous. They performed brilliantly. They didn't or get delayed or muddle up their words. So that was fantastic. I have to say I was really impressed with that, because I can barely record a video myself in my own room in my pants without getting something wrong or having to redo an edit or something like this. And look, I know I'm new to all this, but still, it's very, very impressive, let me tell you. They held themselves really, really well. But they weren't their true authentic self. I thought that they played it extremely safe, and there's a couple of reasons for that, but they played it very safe. Now, were they worried about being labelled as sort of a racist or being sexist, or, you know, talking about too much about diversity and inclusion or woke Hollywood, and, you know, why they think things are good or bad when it comes to certain things, and I guess the MCU and all this, that wasn't really mentioned. Not that it was the right place for it, but I felt that they could have, you know, put that in there and really pushed home their ideas. But I totally understand why they wouldn't, because, you know, if they're getting labelled those things on live TV, they don't own the content, and, you know, they can't really erase it, and they could potentially be cancelled. Even though they have huge audiences on YouTube, it could happen, and for your career, no one wants that. So, but the other reason is they didn't really get any opportunity. So Piers Morgan, who I like, as I said, and I actually watch his show on many other different things, messed up for me on this. He was poor. One of the first times, I mean, he's been poor a few times, but this is the first time I've watched him in a long time, and I thought, oh, that was really poor. So he had the 4 guests on. So he had Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, and these 2 women who I've seen before, don't know the names of, sorry, haven't done the research, but I'm not here to talk about them. However, they had conflicting opinions, which was good, but didn't really add to the show, because Piers Morgan would either ask a question and then answer it himself, or just have a conversation with one of the panelists at any given time. So it would be like, Nerdrotic, what do you think about this? Thank you. Now, what do you think about this, guest number 3? Thank you. Back to Piers Morgan, right? It was never a question that was opened up to the table like a true podcast or anything. It didn't really flow very well. So they didn't really have a chance to say anything or have actually a debate with anybody on the show. So an example of this is Piers Morgan. What do you think about Top Gun Maverick? But then tell you that him and his sons went and watched it and they loved it for all these different reasons. And why did the Oscars overlook popcorn flicks? And that answered everything, really. Nothing more needed to be said. I actually think Piers Morgan must watch them, because he said a lot of things that align to what they say, or he's just done research or been told what to say. I don't know. But they didn't really get a chance to go into depth a lot of times. So I feel a bit sorry for them. But it was a big break and they did very well. The show itself, I thought, actually wasn't very good. I'd much rather their own podcast that they do than this. I thought I would enjoy this, but I didn't. But were they just Hollywood bashing? No, not really. They didn't say anything good about it, but what's new about that? There wasn't much good about it this year. But they also spoke about change and how the show needs to change, which is a really good thing, because a lot of their haters and people that dislike them say all they do is bash Hollywood, and they don't accept that the audience has changed and that the content is different to what it was in the 80s or 90s, whatever it was, when it was good. However, with the show, they were saying that it's dead. It needs to move on, needs to catch up with modern times, and things need to change. So it does show you that they are very forward thinking, and of course people like myself and people who like them know that they are, because look, they're on YouTube, they're talking about things and they're constantly changing and changing their content and changing things, so they are innovative in their own way, but they are forward thinking. It's very, very clear. And they mentioned how the Oscars should change. Now for me, the Oscars are dead completely for several reasons, whether it be the celebrities aren't really that celebrity anymore, they're not, you know, it's not the only time you get to see them. Why do I want to see these people that we can see online, just go on Instagram seeing them in bikinis or on holiday on yachts, or see them on Twitter spouting absolute rubbish about their political views, or some aeroplane's late and they're going to complain, or basically posting some garbage about some sponsored link about some sort of herb that's going to cure them from all kinds of diseases, right? So we see it all the time, it's all rubbish. Now 10 years ago or 15 years ago, whatever, you asked me about Will Smith, what do I think of him? I said, great, what an actor, great films. Now I think he's a bloody loser, yeah? Like, I'm sitting here making a YouTube channel and I'm calling Will Smith a loser. Like, what has the world come to? It just shows where his career is at, but you get what I'm saying. He didn't reveal the stuff that he's revealed these days about his wife openly cheating on him and all these things. We know too much about these celebrities. They're not interesting. And look at John Cena. What is he doing there? That is ridiculous. Like, I get it. The Oscars want to have fun or make some content that's going to trend, and it kind of did. People spoke about it and I saw it all over Twitter, but not interesting to me at all, not worthy of me sort of watching. I did watch the show because obviously I'm making a video, so I don't want to make it without watching it. I fast forwarded a lot of it, it was unwatchable. A lot of the people are not who I want to see. Oppenheimer pretty much dominated. I expected it would, because it's right up sort of the Oscars street. It's not super commercial in terms of, it's not everybody's favourite movie in terms of, you know, how it's filmed and the actual content, what it's about. It's a little bit niche, and it's not going to be something, I know it's done well at the Oscars and at the box office, but I asked my friends about it, not a lot of people actually enjoyed the film, only people who really like films. I enjoyed it. Is it my favourite? No. Was it the best movie of the year? Well, no, not for me, but it was probably the best shot film of the year, in terms of it ticked all the right boxes, right? It's long, it's about, you know, the actual content that it's about is good. I could never review that movie. I don't know anything about the history itself. I don't know if it's correct or incorrect, what the facts are, what aren't. You know, it's too much, you know, too much effort to review a film like that. I just don't have it in me to say, oh, it's rubbish or it's good. It's a good film. Will I watch it again? No. Would I recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it? Yes, if you like Nolan films or you're invested in sort of what happened in that time period, definitely watch it. If you prefer a sort of popcorn flick, hour and a half, do not watch that film. So let's move on. How do we make the sort of Oscars more engaging? How do we get people to watch it again? Well, first and foremost, the format, the ceremony format. Boring. We've all been to them before, whether you're at school or a funeral. As bad as that sounds, I've been to a few myself, but they're just sad and you're just there waiting. It's boring. So you just want to get to the after party, have a drink, have a jolly up, just talk, have fun, meet people that you haven't met for ages. These are the fun things about going to other people's weddings and things like this, right? And these award ceremonies that you've been to. That's the fun part. So let's just skip straight to the fun part. Let's make it the fun part. Great. Film that. That's what we should do. Film the fun part. So get everybody wasted, make sure there's all fun going on, make it like the original Big Brother, so we're all watching these celebrities in an environment that we shouldn't be. That would make it fun. But all seriousness, what they need to do is make it interactive. If they are going to continue it on, make it like live voting, so at least the fans will actually watch and vote for their favourite thing. Make it free voting, make it online, whatever you need to do, Twitter polls, etc. Really interactive, more fun, quicker. Get YouTubers involved. You know how Misfit Boxing and all these different things, all these YouTuber events that are now going on, they have millions and millions of young people watching. Get them involved, get people like KSI on there, get Nerdrotic actually at the show, get these people there. It will make it a bit of a circus, but that's kind of what you want. You want to bring eyes to it. You want a circus, you want fun. Right now it's dead and boring. I'm not saying my solution would fix it at all. For the movie purists, it's probably terrible. But look, comment below, let me know what you think, right? How do we fix this? How do we make it more engaging? How do we make it more fun? We certainly don't make it more fun by having Jimmy Kimmel. He's not funny, never has been, never will be, in my opinion. He is American, and American humour is slightly different to English humour, right? I lean towards more Ricky Gervais in terms of the humour. It's very deadpan, very direct, quite hurtful, but I don't care if people are offended. For me, that is what humour is about. You offend one person, make 4 people laugh, fantastic. You offend 4 people, make 1 person laugh, fantastic. As long as someone is laughing, it doesn't matter. If nobody's laughing, well, yeah, then it's not funny, is it? So then, but still, if you're offended by it, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. That's just my thoughts. It's just my direct English humour. It's a dark humour, whatever. I just think taking offence to a joke... Anyway, it's a topic for another day. But that is what it is. In terms of the show, like I said, boring, to be honest. Nerdrotic, Drinker held themselves well. Wasn't the best. But anyway, what were your thoughts? Let me know, everybody. That's all. It's just a quick one. A little bit of a chat about it. I don't know what everyone thinks about it. And how do we improve the Oscars? How do we make it better? I don't know. Anyway, peace out. Till the next one. Anyway, drop a like, subscribe. Peace.